Hey there. Welcome to the Pine Island Experience podcast. I'm Joanna Anderson with my husband, Trygve. Each of our episodes will be conversations with fellow Pine Islanders.
The goal of our podcast is to share with you our experiences, what we have found to be fun, and what makes the Pine Island experience so unique.
We have kind of everything retail. We have shampoos and conditioners, flea and tick sprays, eye wipes, ear wipes, leashes, collars, people stuff. We have tea towels. We have our own line of candles that's dog friendly. I have a friend of mine that makes candles up in Chattanooga. She has a small candle company. She makes them all for me, and they're just for my store. Toys. Trying to think what else we have. Dishes. We have a great line of custom craft sodas for people. People that they come in, they think they're for the dogs, but they are one of the best lines of sodas. It's all small batched in Georgia.
Lisa Fromm took us inside her charming store, Sandy Paws Dog Bakery and Wash, where she shared the story behind her passion for crafting dog treats and running a business built around her love for pups. Ever wondered what it takes to turn a lifelong dream into a thriving business? Lisa's journey from dog lover to bakery owner is as heartwarming as her treats. In this episode, Lisa tells us how she turned a dream into reality, the challenges she faced, and what's next for Sandy Paws. And now, here is Lisa. We have with us today Lisa and Codee Fromm from Sandy Paws, Island Bakery, and DIY Wash. Welcome. So happy you're here. You know I've been haunting you, Lisa, to get you here since when you opened.
Yes, you have.
So finally coerced you. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Bringing Codee. You can tell us about, I know we have Wisconsin, in common. That's great. You can tell us about that and how you came to the island.
Well, we left Wisconsin, I think, probably 8 years ago. And we moved to Tennessee. So we stayed in Chattanooga for maybe 8 months. And that was too much driving for my husband for work. So then we relocated I did that wrong. We stayed in Nashville for 8 months and then transferred down to Chattanooga. A lot less traffic. So built a house there, stayed there for 3 years, and decided that the grass was greener on the other side. Let's move to Florida. So here we are. We rented a couple houses and we were fortunate enough to find our house. That's how we've kind of got onto the island.
So from Wisconsin to Tennessee, when you come to Florida, it's a big, long state. What attracted you to Southwest Florida?
We camped. We used to camp quite a bit. Living in Wisconsin, that was our hobby. We camped all the time. And then moving down to Nashville area, we still did a bunch of camping because we went to like Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, neat places. And then we were like, well, let's do this big trip. So we did a Nashville, and then we came down to Fort Myers and we stayed at like a 55 plus community. We enjoyed it. It was a great campground. It was beautiful. We kind of took a liking to the area, obviously all pre-storm. So totally different. Went back home, hemmed and hawed for a little while, and just do it. Got everybody on board and we moved down.
Now, have you had small businesses before you started this one?
I still try to do it up here, but I've had a wood wall business ever since I'm leaving Wisconsin, which really blew up in Tennessee because then from there I could get beautiful walls because all the barns there were gorgeous. So I'd had a barnwood supplier, and that's the small business I had. Once we moved from Nashville, though, to Chattanooga, I think it was a little bit too pricey. Kind of just died, and it just wasn't the thing. Maybe it was a phase or a fad.
Mm-hmm.
But that was my first small business, yeah. And then the second one, it was just the dog thing. I like the dogs,
So millions of people have dogs, but they don't open dog businesses. Did you miss not owning a business? And so your pets were your passion, or how'd you come up with the business?
I always wanted to open up a people bakery. But a people bakery is a lot more hoops to jump through. So I'm like, well, we have dogs. I made my own dogs treats. So why not make them for everybody? So at the time I worked at the feed store. So I'd make them, and I kind of sold a little basket of them in there, and they'd sell out. I did good. And we kind of talked about it, and I'm like, I don't really want to work for anybody anymore. I want to do it on my own. I never in a million years thought it was going to be this difficult. So I think a couple storms later, we're in a little bit of a struggle, but we're going to get there. I'm hoping to put more stuff out, more treats. We're going to do a few more markets, and
No, you have quite a selection in there.
yeah. I try to bring in a little something for everybody, even the people like dog lovers. It's not just for dogs. So we have the bakery, but we have people items also, dog toys, shampoos. We have all that stuff. So.
When did you first develop that love of baking? Because you said you were thinking about a people bakery and then went with the dog because it's, I guess, less red tape to open a human. I mean, it's a lot more red tape to open a human food business, correct?
Correct. I've always wanted a bakery. Codee will tell you, I've always baked. I love to bake. It's just something I'm very passionate about. I like baking for people. I've thought about doing that also and kind of incorporating it. But there again, you kind of go with a lot of red tape because there's a lot of things you can feed the dogs that you can't feed a human, even though all my treats are all people food. Any human can eat it.
Your buttons just look adorable.
Well, I appreciate that.
And I see you do different kinds.
I do.
You experiment, don't you?
I do. I have a bunch. We do birthday cake. We do red velvet, carrot cake, peanut butter bacon. Yeah, I do a cheeseburger in paradise. That one's one of my only ones right now that is not a peanut butter based. So it's kind of a gluten-free dog options. There's no flour, like that kind of stuff is in that one. That one's built a little bit differently.
Did you say, I think I saw on your website, it said dogs could have an allergy to peanut butter or gluten or, so you like to keep them free?
Well, a lot of dogs have chicken allergies.
Oh.
I'll do chicken treats, but everything's prepackaged.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing ever touches anything else. But peanut butter, a lot of mine are a peanut butter base.
Yeah.
But I'll do like that cheeseburger one there is no peanut butter at all. So that's a good one for people. And then we have a Sleepy, which is called our signature Sleepy, which is made with an almond flour. So that one is a completely gluten-free too, but that one's for anxiety. So that's a really good one for dogs.
Oh.
So storms and, weather-related things, fireworks, calms them down.
Yeah, and the storms in Florida just drive them crazy.
Sure do.
Really? I'll have to try that. And for probably fireworks too.
Yes.
So we're guessing people would like to know, particularly with any small business, how'd you come up with the name for the business?
That would be Codee.
It's a great name.
It was fitting. I mean, beaches, the dogs all got Sandy Paws.
What were the first steps in opening your location now? And there was a lot to do, wasn't there?
There was. That building was a little lackluster. So a lot of painting, out interior and exterior. We did quite a bit. Thinking back, like what we all did, and then we put a wall in. We had to build the wash, which that one then, we had all the inspections, and that's kind of where we ended up then.
But it looks great.
I appreciate that. It was definitely, like I said, it was kind of like that little ugly stepchild when we got into it. I was like, not sure if I wanted to take that on. What's a little paint?
Oh no, and walls. I mean, it looks great.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate
the layout in there too. Now, tell us about what you've done since you opened. Brought new services in, right? You brought in. I know besides baked goods. You said you have dog like leashes or collars.
Correct. We have kind of everything retail. We have shampoos and conditioners, flea and tick sprays, eye wipes, ear wipes, leashes, collars, people stuff. We have tea towels. We have our own line of candles that's dog friendly. I have a friend of mine that makes candles up in Chattanooga. She has a small candle company. She makes them all for me, and they're just for my store. Toys. I'm trying to think what else. We have dishes.
Candy bars.
We have a great line of custom craft sodas for people. People that they come in, they think they're for the dogs, but they are one of the best lines of sodas. It's all small batched in Georgia.
Well, we both love a good root beer.
Oh, they have a butter pecan soda too. That is amazing.
Oh, that's nice to know you have humans, in mind when they come in the store. There's
absolutely.
Something for them.
Yep.
Candy bars too.
The
Yeah.
box of candy bars.
It's nice to have there.
What makes a candle dog friendly? If we can jump back for a second.
A lot of people don't realize that there's different scents. Like a lot of essential oils, that the smells alone they can't have. So certain essential oils that go into candles, like
Not the wax per se, but the
correct.
Okay.
It's the smells or the oil that they put in them.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. That was a learning curve for me as well.
What do you think as far as the treats? What's the most popular?
The buttons. My buttons are my staple.
They're so adorable. They have a little SP on.
They do. Right now they don't because they're little shamrocks. I made a little.
Oh, of
so
course.
for month of March, we're doing little shamrocks. They're fun. I like to specialize. Like Valentine's Day, we had little heart.
And you keep up with the demand?
I try. There's been days where people come in, they're like, "You're out of buttons." I'm like, one
Lost your
person.
buttons.
I also do, like at Christmas time, I did hundreds of little tiny cookies because I did advent calendars and I hand decorated every single cookie. So I do bigger cookies. That might be a margarita cookie, might be for Cinco de Mayo. I have those in the store. I have 2 different margaritas, actually, the toys.
There you go. Now, can we talk about the coffee wood bones? Because I thought coffee, and people must react like that because you're not supposed to give coffee, but this isn't the coffee part.
Caffeine free. The wood portion of the tree is caffeine free, but instead of a regular stick, they don't splinter. So they more like kind of chip off and they can chew it up instead of getting it stuck in their throats. But I am on my 7th box. That has been the best seller in my store. People love them.
Yeah, I saw where you said it's the number 1 seller. And they're different
Amazing.
sizes, right?
Mm-hmm. They have extra large to extra small.
It's interesting because the first thing when you think of wood, you think of splinters, whether you're working on it or the dog. And so it's a non-splintering wood.
Correct. It kind of comes off more in like a chunk. So like a thin chunk. Yeah, our dog's, Codee's puppy right now has got a little extra small one. And he loves sticks outside. So I'm like, please chew on this.
Is it good for aggressive chewers?
We have an aggressive chewer and he does the same thing. They love them.
Yeah.
Because our one will rip every toy apart.
And then there's other dogs that they don't have anything, they don't hurt them. They don't hurt their toys.
Yep. We have one master destroyer and the other 2 are just like, the toy box is empty.
Yeah, where'd they go? And then, do you have any treat dispenser toys?
Yeah, I don't have any of those, but there's with the balls in the store that you can put the treats into.
That's a treat dispenser toy. And they love those, chasing the ball around
Yes.
and then they'll dribble out. It's like magic.
Mm-hmm.
DIY wash too. A lot of people come and wash their dogs there.
So that's kind of goes a little bit both ways because I started picking up on baths because a lot of people just don't want to give a bath. But you do have, it's about half and half, I guess. Half of them want to come in and do it. And so we do it 2 ways. I do it where they'll come in and they supply all their own stuff. And then they come in and I supply everything. So I have 2 different price brackets for that. So it just depends. I mean, I have some really religious customers that come in almost every week, every 2 weeks, just to wash their dog, but they bring all their own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot easier to be at height to wash them than to break your back and bend over in your tub or with your hose.
That's a good point.
So that's why before we moved here, I used to go to a do-it-yourself wash. Mm-hmm. So that's how that got incorporated into our store because I used to use one all the time up in Tennessee. I loved it.
And they can do all their dog shopping there. And have you gotten into anything else besides treats? No dog food yet or?
No dog food. And the only reason I haven't done dog food is because being so close to Publix, they carry so much where I'd only bring in like a certain line and it'd have to be something that everybody's going to want.
Yeah, there's so many brands, so many out on the market. Invariably, if you carry one, somebody's going to come in and say, well, can you have this one too? And you only have so much space, et cetera.
Correct. And then to get rid of it and before it goes bad or, it's kind of, that's a hard one. We bounced around the idea though. So it's not completely gone, but there's a lot of bigger companies that can probably supply it a lot cheaper than I can. I don't have a loading dock either. That was a thing too, because I did call a company and I'm like, hey, because we use Gentle Giants for our dogs. It's a non-GMO dog food. And so I was going to bring that in. The shipping was like $300 and some odd dollars, and you had to bring in a whole bunch. And I'm like, I don't have
like
a shipping dock.
And worth kind of thing.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't have that. That wasn't my need. I just wanted just a few bags to try it. And so I'm like, yep, I'll pass. Dog food's just kind of it's an oddity for me in the store right now.
You're right. You're competing with grocery stores or Chewy or,
Correct. Amazon.
It also kind of points out something interesting as a small business person. There's the idea, and I think a lot of us that don't do small business are like, it'd be great for Sandy Paws just to use your business, but we don't think about like the costs, the minimum delivery, expiration date, all these things that then end up understandably adding to the cost. But well, why don't you do this, or how come they? Well, there's probably some good reason, mostly financial, behind that, and or space stuff to do so just because it sounds good, like you think about it, but then you have to evaluate and say that won't work here or that will work here, but that won't work because I don't have enough space, etc. So always a challenge. Like
I agree. That is definitely a challenge. Yep.
You were telling me about a vet comes in.
We do. We have Dr. Lori. She comes in once a month and does shots, and she'll prescribe prescriptions. And then they have like an affordable care clinic where you can go online and get all your prescriptions from her. She's fantastic.
What a great service. They don't have to leave the island.
Don't have to leave the island. Plus, there's no office visit. You're just paying for your shots. Any vet clinic you go into, you walk in and you're getting hit from $40 to $80 now just for walking through the door. We don't have that. You walk in, get your shots, and you leave. You're not waiting in that office visit.
And prescriptions.
She does prescriptions too.
is that on a set day, or how's that part work?
She comes once a month. She's skipping the month of March. So she'll be back. It's April 13th or 16th. So it's kind of somewhere in that
In the middle
ballpark.
of the month, every month, other than March.
Yes.
She's okay.
And she's there from 12:30 to 1:30. So it's only an hour, but it's quick because it's just shots and stuff. So she's in and she's out, and
Bet your customers know when she's coming.
they do.
Uh-huh.
They do. They love it. It's gotten busier. Like the first time we kind of sat there and they're like, it's okay. This is normal. Because I was like, I felt bad bringing them onto the island because they come from Northport, but they travel everywhere. So, but I'm like, oh, you guys just sat through all the traffic and now we have nobody. She's like, it's okay. First 2 times, 3 times, it's hit and miss. People, they're kind of unsure. But the last time, it was great. We had a ton of people. So I'm glad people are utilizing it.
Well, and you forget too, word of mouth is so powerful. So somebody that dribbled in, say on that second visit, is going to go tell 4, 5, 6 other people, "Hey, I went up there. All you do is pay for the shots," and then you start to get people. But yeah, I know people say, "Oh, yeah, advertising. Advertising is important, stuff like that." But the power of a neighbor or friend saying, "Hey, I went up there and I got the shots, and it was very reasonably priced, and around here, I didn't have to leave the island," is should be very good selling features.
I agree. That's huge. That's very huge.
And it's just convenient.
hmm
And they just drop in during that hour.
Yeah, no appointments. They do ask if you're bringing in a cat because she does see cats. So, but she says the cats need to be in a carrier, and the dogs all need to be on leashes, obviously. But yeah, she's good. She's given Cody's pup all his shots. He's our newest addition. He's gonna be 4 months old this month. So
How many dogs do you have in total? Quite a few, right?
we have 3.
Oh, okay, 3.
Yeah, yeah. We have one that's 9, and then we have Moose, who will be 2 in July.
Moose?
Moose is actually Cody's dog's brother, and then we have Theo.
Oh, wow.
Did you have dogs your whole life? Did you grow up with them? And
My entire life, we grew up with labs.
yeah, that's once you get particular, like if you're our parents, kind of like, well, pets are what you do for children, and well, then you keep getting them throughout the rest of your life. And
I don't think I could live without a dog.
I can't imagine a life without a dog.
Mm-mm.
It's fun.
You have a bad day, they're always there smiling at you, and they're happy.
They want to do something. Come on.
Yep. Yep.
This is a tough question for you. Do you have any plans, future plans that you're thinking about? I know you haven't been there that long, and you've been so busy getting it all together. But you have ideas like what would be a great dream that you'd have there, or any new services, or
Well, services maybe that people don't know we do. I do dog sitting.
oh,
I do dog walking.
wow.
So those are a couple things. And sometimes people will drop their dogs off at the store for, a few hours or, whatever it may be, just because they don't want to leave them sit at home. So kind of a dog daycare.
Oh.
I don't have a ton of space, but the littler dogs, they bring in that. Future, my goal right now, I'm actually looking for doing more markets to kind of get my product out there a little bit better. And then I'm going to try to expand my products into more grooming stores.
Mhm.
Right now, I'm going to be putting them in Pampered Pup. I just got the go ahead to do that. So all my treats will be in Cape Coral, which is pretty exciting for me because people that can't and don't want to come across the bridge can go out there and get them now.
It's a great
So
idea.
it's a huge thing for me, I think. Hopefully that helps a little bit, kind of spread the word.
Looks like you have a little daycare going on over there.
A little bit.
Too. Nice.
It's always a daycare because I've always got the little guy with me.
Yeah, it's always a daycare. Yeah, there's always a puppy in there, right?
He's got such a routine. He hops out of the truck now and he just walks around the building and he's like, I know what to do. And then we go in.
Is there anything we've missed?
And it's the house that we bought. I actually took him with me the first time to see it. I'm like, let's go look at this house because the gentleman that we bought from used to be the traveling vet for the feed store. So I guess maybe I was meant to be in some kind of type of dog business. I mean, so we went out there and I was like, I'm like, we can't buy this house. I'm like, there's no way, just too much work. It was completely gutted. I'm like, we don't have it in us anymore. We're too old to fix up another house. We were renting and I'm like, it's a little depressing renting because you're just throwing money away. So I looked at my husband and I'm like, let's go back and look at that house that me and Codee looked at. Not that I want a fixer-upper. Well, we made it work and we're still fixing it up, but we'll get there one day. It's just a lot. Everything's really expensive right now, and especially building materials. So,
But you look happy.
yeah, I mean, we enjoy it out here.
I can't tell you how many people have come here and been on the podcast, and the two things that you said were, it sounds like you just fall in love with the place. The island, it's just so unique and wonderful and friendly. And then the other is that it was meant to be. A lot of people say that, and we've heard that so often that, it was meant to be because all these things happened.
But yeah, both my jobs, which I worked here, everything's been on the island. I never worked off island. Even living in Cape, I'd still travel in every day to the feed store, to Cabbage.
Easier now. You can stay right here on the island. So you start going out to Cape Coral with your stuff.
I don't leave the island.
Someone else goes for you, maybe.
I don't really have to.
So let's remind everybody, where is the store located?
We are at 5459 Pine Island Road Northwest in Bokeelia.
Phone numbers, websites, other things?
Phone number is 239-220-9821. The website is Sandy Paws Island Dog Bakery @gmail.com.
In your hours?
We are open Monday through Friday from 9 to 3 and then Saturday 9 to 1.
I did find your website. It's beautiful. It's sandypawsislanddogbakery.com.
Thank you. We are also on Instagram, Sandy Paws PI. So that one's out there as well.
And TikTok.
I'm on TikTok. I think it's also Sandy Paws PI too. Those are for my kids to set up. That kind of stuff is all out of my wheelhouse.
It's the best if you have your kids do that. It's so much easier.
It is. I have a 16-year-old daughter that's hers.
That's excellent resource.
Yeah, I do the Facebook and they do the rest.
Well, it looks lovely. They're doing a good
Thank
job.
you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad you came. It has been it feels like a year. I don't remember.
It may have been close to a year.
I didn't mean to nag so much, but I love your shop.
Apparently I needed you to do that because I really don't think I would have been here. I was petrified.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We hope you enjoyed our Pine Island Experience podcast. If you have any ideas for us, people to interview, or any comments, please feel free to email them to us at pineislandexperience@gmail.com. That's pineislandexperience, all one word, @gmail.com. Don't forget to like us, and you may subscribe to this podcast using all the major catchers like Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Thanks again for listening, and remember, island life is a constant vacation. We'll see you on the next podcast.